One of the hardest things to accept is that sometimes you don't get closure. There's no final conversation, no clear explanation, no moment where everything makes sense. It just ends. And your brain hates that because it's wired to look for resolution. It wants a clear story, it wants things to feel finished. So when you don't get that from someone, your mind keeps going back, trying to figure it out, replaying conversations, imagining what they might say, trying to fill in the missing pieces, because it feels like if you could just understand it, you'd finally be able to let it go. And I've been there. I know how hard that is. And I've also been on the other side of it, where I was the one who left without much explanation. And I've learned there's lots of reasons people do that. Sometimes it's fear of hurting someone else or having a conversation you don't really feel ready for. Sometimes it's guilt, and avoiding it feels easier than facing it. Sometimes it's confusion, not even fully understanding your own reasons. And sometimes it's just avoidance, choosing distance because it feels safer than honesty. But no matter the reason, it still leaves the other person with questions. And here's the hardest part: closure doesn't actually come from them. It feels like it should, but it doesn't. Because even if they explained everything perfectly, you'd probably still have questions. You'd still feel something, and you'd still need time to process it. So, what we're really looking for isn't their explanation, it's a sense of understanding inside ourselves. And that's something you can create even without them. Instead of asking why they did what they did, I started noticing that question just kept me stuck, going in circles. For me, what helped more was stepping back and asking, what about this is still affecting me? What part of this am I still trying to understand? And when you start to see it from that point of view, you stop waiting for them to give you closure and you start creating it for yourself. And I know that's not as satisfying. There's always a part of us that wants the conversation, the explanation, the apology. But sometimes moving on isn't about getting answers. It's about deciding you don't need them to move forward. And that doesn't mean it didn't matter. It just means you're no longer giving that situation control over your peace or of your life. Thank you for taking a moment to reflect on this with me. I'd love to know, have you ever had to move on without getting closure? And what helped you the most? And if you enjoy these kinds of reflections about the mind and why we do the things we do, feel free to like and subscribe for more discussions like this. I'm really glad you're here, and I hope you have a wonderful day.